Communities across the U.S. are in the midst of hurricane and wildfire season. And when disasters like this strike, many people find themselves in need of temporary housing and space to figure out, of course, what is next. So Airbnb.org's emergency response program helps connect people to temporary places to stay in times of need. So joining us to discuss this and share tips on how to be better prepared for disasters is Kirsten Burlacher. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us about Airbnb.org.
So Airbnb.org is an independent nonprofit that helps folks find temporary housing in times of crisis. And while the nonprofit is new, the program's actually been around since 2012, when a host in New York City wanted to offer her home during Hurricane Sandy. And today we now have hosts all around the world who are opening their homes for hundreds of disasters, and we've housed about 75,000 people so far.
That is absolutely amazing. So how does Airbnb.org help exactly during, disasters? How does it work?
Yeah, so Airbnb.org works directly with local emergency management agencies and nonprofits to really understand the needs on the ground. And in many of these disasters, people are forced to evacuate quickly and need a place to go. Some will go to shelters, others stays with family and friends. Airbnb.org offers another option, which is stays in homes hosted by local neighbors in a safe zone. And these stays are free or subsidized by the host, and Airbnb waives all of its fees. And we really hear from our guests that staying in the comforts of a home can offer that sense of calm and normalcy while folks figure out what their next steps are going to be.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I was actually going to ask, how does this, is it free? How do people pay? So that's really cool to know that as well. So what do you recommend people do then to be better prepared for an emergency?
Well, no matter where you live, it's really critical to have an emergency preparedness plan for you and your families. And as a part of that plan, considering things like having an evacuation plan, a communications plan, always keeping an emergency preparedness kit ready. Sites like ready.gov and the FEMA app have great resources to help your family be prepared. And as a part of your plan, you can also consider how you might be able to support your community in the event of an emergency if you yourself have not been impacted. And Airbnb.org is one great way to do that.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, let's say somebody else wants to get involved, whether they have a house to offer up or not. I mean, how can other people help?
Yeah, so signing up to host on Airbnb.org is a great way to be ready to help your community. You don't have to be a regular Airbnb host to participate in this program. If you have extra space that you'd be willing to share in an emergency, and it doesn't have to be fancy, it could be a real lifesaver to people who have to evacuate.
Yeah, and you mentioned always having a plan. We tell people that here in the South too during hurricane season, or I mean any natural disaster like we were talking about, some people dealing with the wildfires. So where can people get more information? Because I do think this is going to help a lot of people.
For folks that are interested in learning more, you can go to airbnb.org/join to sign up or learn more.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all the tips and the information.
Thanks for having me, Jordan.
Of course. And if you'd like to see this segment again or get more information, go to firstcoastliving.net.